My name's Dr. Rachel Dern. I'm a senior lecturer here at Northumbria Law School, and I'm also the Year 4 Director for the MLaw LPC programme. The Student Law Office is where students get the opportunity to work with live clients under the supervision of a qualified solicitor or barrister. So if you're an MLaw student on the LPC route, you'll be in the clinic for a whole year. If you are on the LLB course or on another elective, you can actually opt to do the SLO as well. So we do make this opportunity available for every student that's coming through the law school. The work that you do in here is representing live clients who otherwise wouldn't have any legal representation. So they normally haven't qualified for legal aid and can't get any help with their legal cases. And we are a last resort for quite a lot of people. So the work that we do is it operates like a normal law office. So we do have dedicated admin staff that work in here. They get the inquiries that come through from members of the public and they pass it over to one of the supervisors. The supervisor will then give it to the student calls the client, they get them in and interview them, they do legal research for them and give them advice. In some cases, students actually get the opportunity to go to court or tribunal. So for example, in employment law, the students have in the past gone and done advocacy on behalf of their clients. Some of the practitioners here will do the advocacy themselves, but they'll actually take the students to court with them as well, which is a really great experience. So we try to open up the experience as much as we can to all of our students and give them a good kind of taste and replication of what practice is going to be like. We operate in pretty much every area of law in the Student Law Office. So we have civil litigation, housing, welfare and benefits, employment, family, and we also have business and commercial at the moment as well. So we pretty much do cover every area of law. And we've got about 30 practitioners at the moment working in the Student Law Office. Last year we had about 350 students working in here, so it is really quite big. And we do quite a lot of work for our client. We have worked on some quite big cases, so we've raised over £100,000 in compensation for our clients since the clinic started. We've also had people released from prison who've been wrongly imprisoned, and that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the work of the students here in the Student Law Office. This year we've also introduced Policy Clinic. So Policy Clinic is for students who are thinking about going down the research or the PhD route, or want a taste of something else that isn't necessarily practice. What we do in the Policy Clinic is we do research for charities and organisations with the aim of influencing policy and law reform. So an example of that this year was we did a research project for the UK Centre of Animal Law to do with people taking pets into care homes. So we went around and interviewed managers of care homes and whether or not they let pets in and why they do. The UK Centre of Animal Law was so impressed with the research, they've actually asked the students who did that report to go down to Liverpool in September and present at a conference with their findings. And we've had students have work this year published on the Law Society website and things as well. So we do try to cater for any sort of experience in any career path here in the law school, because we know not every student wants to go in and practice, but those skills are transferable to anywhere else in the workplace. In terms of awards, so we have won quite a lot of awards since the clinic has been in operation. The biggest one we won was the Queen's Anniversary Award back in 2013, and that was to do with our work in the community. So everything is pro bono here, we don't charge for the services, and we have helped a lot of members of the community through the work we do here. So that was recognised, and the then director, Carol Boothby, and some of the students and supervisors got to go down to Buckingham Palace and meet with the Queen, and were presented with that award. So that was a really big achievement for us. We've also won other awards. So a couple of years ago we won the Collaborative Award for Teaching Excellence from the then Higher Education Academy. That was to do with how our students and staff work together in the Student Law Office, because it is a very much mentoring relationship, it's a much closer relationship. And we won about £15,000 from Kate to develop more of our teaching practices and to develop the clinic even further. So that again was a really big achievement. And we do win a lot of pro bono awards every year as well. So we are recognised for the work that we're doing here. It does work like a normal law office here in the SLO, but we also have it set up for educational purposes as well. So an example of an interview room, so this is where the interviews will call their clients and interview their clients. It is set up just as a normal meeting room, but there is also recording equipment in the corner as well, so that the supervisors can mark the students' interviews because they don't go in with them, but also so the students can watch it back, improve on their performance and see if there's anything missed as well that they maybe need to go back to the client about. There's also computers in here if they need to take a witness statement or if they need to write up any court documents. It is set up for that. So it does run like a normal office, but we make it so that it's really supportive for the students as well going through this clinical experience. We're also research active here in the Student Law Office as well. A lot of the clinicians that work in here also research in legal education. We have our own journal called the International Journal of Clinical Legal Education, which a lot of the staff in here work on and publish in. The aim of it is to improve and share good practices for clinical legal education and to take what we're teaching our students, share it with others, but also to improve our teaching practices. The research community is absolutely amazing at Northumbria University in the Student Law Office. We have PhD students who are dedicated to research in the clinic and helping us to make it even better and strengthen the claims we make about how good this kind of education is. And the community is getting stronger and bigger as the years go on. So the Law Practice Library is the only library in the university that is dedicated to a subject area, so we're very lucky to have it. It has a full-time librarian in there, so it is fully stocked with staff and books. The books in here are practitioner textbooks, so what they are: law reports, practitioner handbooks, cases, things like that. The purpose of the law library is for students to use their academic knowledge and put it into practice, whether that's practicing drafting or preparing for a case. They can bring books into the student law office to help them with the preparation for their cases, and it's all about gaining those practical skills as well as the academic knowledge needed to go on in a career. We use the courtroom for the BPTC courses, so they will have advocacy, criminal advocacy in particular lessons in there, and their assessments as well. It's also used by our mock trial society, so they meet there once to twice a month and they run through practice cases, and it gives students the opportunity to practice their advocacy skills before they decide what they want to go on to, or just if they're interested in practicing cases. So that's mainly what the courtroom's used for. It was donated to us from an old magistrates court, so it is actually technically an operational courtroom, although it's never being used as an overflow yet, but it is linked up with video links and things if we did have to use it for that. The difference between Northumbria and other universities is that we embed experiential learning, and especially the clinic, into our programme. So everything is getting students prepared to getting into this clinic and then going on to do that integrated master's and vocational course. So we like to prepare them from day one to get to that point. So we start them off with experiential learning from the get-go, and then they'll kind of move up that way. Allowing every student to have that opportunity is quite unique because a lot of universities may not have a clinic, or if they do have a clinic, it's quite a lot smaller and won't take every student in there. So the fact that all of our students have that clinical opportunity is really quite unique for how big the law school is. Our postgraduate community is definitely getting stronger. We've just got a new LLM framework. The M-Law students for the LPC in their final year and the bar course will be integrated with freestanding LLM students, which is really cool. So they get to experience new people and work with different people, which you wouldn't normally get at other universities. It's your undergrad and then your masters, and it's separate. So I do think the research community is getting stronger. We've got more PhD students now than we've ever had before. We get quite a lot of studentships coming through and a lot of funding from the Research Council, which is really cool. And the research here is becoming a really good community and really quite strong.